start by saying, let my Facebook go off
There we go.
and load. That's how I started. Like everybody knows what Shika is going to say when she goes because, and it's going to start and it's going to just start echoing in 1 second. I'm trying to figure it out. How do you solve this in advance before the interview? But nobody's been able to help me why it happens. Off.
There we go.
Okay. And we are ready. All right. We had a beautiful interview in the morning today. Today I started with music, Samantha, in the morning. I just wanted to. I still didn't know the lyrics very well, but I was just like dancing, and the mother was dancing aside. We were doing that in the morning when for my morning, your evening, and now I have Samantha here, who I've been like again. She's been around and she's not been around. She's been around and she's not been around, and then finally we have Samantha here with us because I see her posts with her daughters and I remember them very clearly somehow. And that's why I was like, Samantha, you're going on as a mom. Welcome, Samantha. It's a total pleasure to have you here. It's very early in the morning, so thank you for joining early in the morning. As usual, I say the person who lives the story tells the story best. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself to this beautiful community of moms that's coming up.
Yeah. Morning, everybody. It is a quarter after 6 my time here, actually. And I'm in Vernon, BC, and I live on the unceded territories of the Silk and Okanagan nations. And yeah, I'm a two-spirited resilience coach, and two-spirited meaning that I identify with both a masculine and feminine energy that I work with. I found I never identified as like gay or lesbian. It just never, I was like, sure. And then when I heard two spirited, it was like that shot to the heart. It just totally connected. And
Yeah.
I'm huge with that heart piece, right? Of really listening to what your heart is saying, and heart communicates in feeling, and so does the universe. So I find that such a beautiful connection, and it's more of like whispers as you hear it, right? And it's not as tangible. So you have to make a little more effort to hear what it's trying to tell you. And I find that so fascinating. So
The
yeah.
spirited and whisper, it just, the horse comes into my mind somehow. You know, I love horses. And when you say
Yeah.
spirited and you say whisperer, so the horse whisperer and the spirited spirit that a horse has. And
Yeah.
I don't know why that image, and it was a beautiful image
Well,
just passed by.
yeah. Well,
Go
and
ahead.
it speaks to the resiliency. I mean, you think of horses, right? And the power that they have, and how they're that wild spirit. Like you see a wild horse running and you're just like, oh, I want to be there with them, you know?
It's one of my favorite images in the world, Samantha. And
Yeah.
I just love the wild horses running. Like I don't like
Mhm.
the image of horses being ridden, like people are riding horses or practicing on them. I just love that whole image of the wild horse running and the hair are flowing and they're just
Yeah.
running like crazy, especially
Yeah.
on the beach. Anytime I see that, I absolutely get a different kind of a high. So when you said that two spirited, you use the word whisperer, and like I'm just like that's the image it takes me to. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping your image is like that as well, something to do
Yeah.
with that kind of
I
a
I have
spirit.
some ideas, but I'm not sure if it's fully come through yet. So I just keep trusting, just keep putting it out there. Yeah.
I love that about you, Santa. And every time I speak to you, I like this whole thing. And I was just telling you that I don't know why I started talking like universe, this, that, everything is aligning. Some a part of me doesn't want to believe it because it's happening so much piece by piece in a very obvious way, because I thought that in the obvious way it never happens. It always is somewhere hidden. It's never obvious. But with this project, it's become so obvious piece by piece that it sometimes scares me. I'm like, really? Is it like coming together in front of me? And but yes, I totally trust it honestly from bottom of my heart. Like this amount of love and a blessing that's been showered to this project, I'm just telling myself, focus, reach the end, focus, reach the end. Just keep seeing that, and everything will align from marketing to, you know, putting these books across the world in hands of these 100 moms. I think I've just stopped thinking about that. So thank you for that
Yeah.
encouragement for
Well,
your inspiration as
and
well.
And I was going to tell you too, and I was waiting until we were doing our interview, is you're focusing on the feeling of what it is that you want. And that's why the universe is providing that. Is you're not caught up in the how, which is where everyone can get caught up in and trying to control. And why sometimes it can be scary is it's because we have this lie that we're told that, oh, we have to work so hard and we have to hustle and we have to grind. But when you focus on the feeling from your heart and just keep aligning with that, the universe is like, hey, you need these things and we're going to bring them to you. And you're like, how is this occurring? Because you're not even focused on that part, right? And that's the key, is universe communicates in feelings, and that's why our heart and connecting to it is so, so powerful.
Yes, and I just think it's I've had a few conversations with you, but somehow I feel that at this point in time I'm totally connected with what you're saying, and you're just here to reconfirm to me that keep going and everything is fine, and just stop jumping around thinking it's not real or it's not okay. And thank you
Yeah.
for that, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your journey till here, Samantha. You're
Sure.
also a photographer. We'll talk about that as well, how photography is there, but we'll move on to that part. Let's talk about how your journey has been till now. Let's talk about you as a mom, and then we'll go further. And we have Francis here. If I look on the side, I'm just trying to comment, but I'm listening to
Yeah,
you.
no worries. um, yeah, it's been a phenomenal journey. And I think it really started for me in the two-spirited resilience piece, really came through uh, probably almost 15 years ago, actually. And that all started with me actually being honest about myself and not living my life for somebody else, particularly my family. I was raised in a very strict, organized religion household. And to be two spirited or to come out as being gay was just not even remotely okay. And so it was very interesting to go through this period of, I guess it was kind of like a reclamation, but it was also like a burn the whole city down, that purification through fire
Right,
that I think we all hit at one point. And I kind of pair it with being a mom as well, right? It's kind of like we tear down this version of who we were before we became a mom. And then we get stuck in this process of like, who am I? What's going on? What do I represent? Um, take the mom title away, and then we go, and freak out a little bit. And then it's kind of like we face this journey as a mom of like, you need to remember who you were before you became a
right,
mom and who you are as a mom, and put them together as all those skills in the pieces together. Because being a mom, I always think of as like you are the most strategic, resourceful person, and you would make MacGyver look like an idiot. Like we are just phenomenal at our problem solving and making things occur that you're just like, how does she do it? I mean, all of us sit here and listening to these moms, and there's minds are exploding. Like, how does she do it? And I think why I love resiliency is that you are transforming what you view through a scarcity lens, or I've lost something, and you actually turn the whole way that you hold it, shift that context to be, wow, this is what I've gained. These are my gems. These are the greatest treasures that I've ever been given. And it's just appreciating those through gratitude, so that you shift from this scarcity to this abundancy in any way, shape, or form that you can just look at anything with, right? And it really bothers me when people sometimes that have kids and sometimes that don't, where they speak to this, well, before I was a parent, I used to dot dot dot, and they look at how becoming a parent has taken something away. But for me,
right.
it's like, I feel like it's this other beautiful lens that we get to look through to remember this, just so many pieces about life. And I mean, how incredible is it when you look at the same thing, and then you walk with your child and they look at it and they go, wow, mom, isn't this just beautiful? Look how beautiful the sky is. And you just stop and you go, oh, yeah, yeah, no, you're right. That is beautiful. And you just get to look at things through this lens of innocence. And I think when we go through our challenges, when we go through these things, we forget and we lose that innocence. And so it's resiliency through loss of how to transform that loss as it's not a loss. It's actually some huge gains that you can have, right? But it's up to you. You have that choice. And I think that's where that whole freedom of choice piece actually comes from, is we have the free will and the free choice to decide how we are going to view and look at things. And I think that's just so beautiful.
You're just taking all the words out of my mouth, Samantha. I was just about to say, it's so beautiful, and you just took it out. And before that, all you spoke about, I think you're the first mom. I've been speaking about it, saying that we find ourselves saying that before I became a mom, dot, 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 a lot. And, I had so many things that I was like, when you were speaking, you were like, yeah, I need to ask her this, and everything is just like got dissolved because I'm in just awe of what you just said. And I just like the way you're approaching it. I think the fact that it's a new opportunity to start seeing life all over again from an innocent eye is a beautiful thing to even recognize. And the fact that you recognize this, and the fact that you celebrate this, and I love
Mm,
what you said about the fact that you lose something, but you're actually not losing, you're actually finding something much more. And if you start seeing and viewing it like that, I think this whole journey will unfold so many more things that you can't even imagine. And it's happened to me even in this project. Um, Not that I was a very negative chatter mom anywhere around me, but I was slipping in after my second one somewhere there, especially COVID, post COVID, and I was just like, God, give me some time to just like be with
breathe.
myself. To breathe is the word. Like, please give me some time to breathe, because I had a 4 month old and I totally breastfeed fed my older one, the next one, and I was just like going totally crazy because the older one was not going to school and the younger one was there, and like the house thing, I was just, and I know many moms were doing that, and that's the time I caught myself one fine day. I'm like, really? Is this going to be this dot 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 before I became a mom? Coming because of the fact that you're tired or you're frustrated or you don't have time for yourself, or you really mean that? I really had to question that, for myself, that why is this negative chatter coming when you're so, I'm also being called an obsessed mother. And in spite of being an obsessed mother, you're thinking that I wish I have some break. Even feeling guilty about it,
Yeah.
First of all, I'm an obsessed mother. Second of all, I want a break. And
Yeah.
third of all, I want to go back to my career. So what is happening? And then COVID hits, and then this all gets all merged up into this one person's head, and she just wakes up one fine day and says, forget it, this negative chatter. I will start going online in my self portrait. And I took the online journey and I just did the market research, and I was just in a total, not shock is not the word, but I was just like, one, it's not an Indian problem because I thought it was a very Indian traditional problem. Two, it's a problem across the world. Three, why are all mothers sounding the same, whether they are of two generations ahead or we're just new mom? They all sound the same, only the words are changing. But end of the day, they're all sounding like that. And I did find some inspiring mothers, and that's why one fine day I got up and I said, enough. For me to uplift myself also, I need to hear this 100 times at least, right? To say that you're just tired, and that's it. And surround myself with mothers who are inspiring. And that's how this whole thing came into shape. And I had no idea who's coming in on. I always knew I know a lot of mothers because of my profession. So whatever you put out there is absolutely real. And I love with the calmness that you put this thing. And if most of us, and that's why it's an honor to have you in the book as an inspiring mom, because you know to understand this, to come here, it takes an effort. It takes, like, it might take me speaking it 100 times to 100 moms and putting all my energy into a book to actually finally say, exactly, no chatter, it's all okay. Like, that's the kind of energy and upliftment I might need, and many mothers might, but you've done it so beautifully. and I'm sure there were things. So would you like to talk about your journey with your daughter, how it has been, and how did it transform you into this person today? And what is it that you lost, and what is it that you found, is what you're going to talk about.
Yeah. The journey with having my daughter was just, it was so amazing. Like there's no other way to put it. Um, I've been with my wife. We're actually going to celebrate our 11-year wedding anniversary on the 16th of this month.
Oh, lovely.
And February we've been together for 15 years. So
Wow.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
My daughter just turned 5 in July. And so we decided to go with an anonymous donor, and we went to the fertility clinic to get support and help. And they were just honestly the kindest women I have ever met in my life, and just so supportive, zero judgment, just really there just to support and guide and give you so much love in that moment. So it was beautiful. And we were actually very lucky. We got pregnant on the first try, and it was just amazing. And my pregnancy was amazing. I really enjoyed it. But I don't know if you remember this, but I feel like I hit 32, 33 weeks, and it was just like this light switch went off, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm ready for the next stage now. And that was kind of the only time that I was just like, I'm over this pregnancy thing. But other than that, I just really enjoyed it every moment. And it's so funny because my daughter, for the first trimester, all I wanted was spicy Indian food.
Wow, really? Yes,
Like,
another thing that really amazing. And you're being featured
yeah,
as a mom in a book from a mom in India who just
yeah,
one day woke up and said, "Well, fine." Like, so I'm going to come
yeah,
and cook if I ever meet you, which I have an intention of meeting all the 100 moms once COVID
yeah.
set. I will come and cook. I'm a good cook. I'll come and cook some Indian food for her for sure. And
Awesome. Yeah. No, yeah, it was so funny. And the spicier the food, the better, which was hilarious, but I was going with it.
yeah.
And I think it speaks to her personality now because she's very spicy and very sassy, which is amazing.
Blame
Yeah.
it on the Indian food. Blame it
Yeah.
on the Indian food.
I will. um, yeah. And it was very interesting because I had this like wonderful experience through it all. And I don't even think I realized how bad of a postpartum, of baby blues, bit of depression that I was actually in. I had no clue how bad it was until I was already out of it, until I had crawled out of that hole.
All of us
And
can
and
relate
it
to
and it I think for me, and where it is for women especially as well, is that um with postpartum it shows up so sneaky, right? It's very sneaky, it's very intangible, because it's this fluid feeling that you're getting constantly, right?
yes,
And I think it's because it's this shift of uncertainty,
right,
because we don't know who we are anymore.
right.
And so it's like one moment we're all about being a mom and we're just so in love. And then the next minute it's like, who am I outside of this? I need to reclaim my independence. Hear me roar, I'm woman. And you have these like two amazing, strong personalities, and you're the battleground, you
Oh
know?
yes.
And I
You're the
so
personality.
experienced
You're the
that.
battleground. Like, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just saying. You said a beautiful line that you're the personalities and you're the battleground. Imagine how much confusion is
Yeah,
happening.
right.
Battlefield.
And then I have so much empathy for spouses that do not get pregnant, and then they're trying to hold that space for you and witness everything, and they're just like, I don't know what to do.
I think all of us can relate to that. All moms can relate to what you're saying, and you said it
Yeah,
so beautifully.
yeah. And I mean, I compliment my wife on a daily basis now that we are well past that point of just like, I so appreciate you, and I'm so grateful that you are as stubborn as I am, because I feel like if we weren't both equally stubborn, we would still not we wouldn't be together anymore. So it's an amazing because it's like you're going through this major transformation, and then you and your spouse are going through this transformation, and then you have this other like very needy where you have to be present, and so you have all these different dynamics going on in your house, and no wonder why you feel like you don't know what end is up and down and over. And I mean, I can't even blame sleep deprivation. We didn't really experience sleep deprivation until Naya was like 2.5. And it was all of a sudden toddler years hit, and it's just like, I don't want to sleep by myself, and I don't want to sleep. Where is this coming from?
Tell
So
me about.
yeah, it's just amazing. And she's 5 now, and I think for me, when I was holding on to her in the hospital, and I so distinctly remember because she was born early in the morning, and so I remember holding her a couple hours after she was born, and it was just I was just is so beyond exhausted because it had been about 3 days at this point. And I remember seeing her on my chest, and I just looked at her and I was like, there's no more lying about who you are. And I felt like I had already gone through this, like, I know who I am. And it was like staring at her was like looking in this beautiful mirror of, no, you're still half playing, and there's no more of that anymore. And I think that's what people go through when they become a mom. And then, other people that have known them before that have not experienced that transformation are just like, who are you? Like, why are you doing this, or why are you doing that? And you're just like, because this is actually who I am, and I'm done hiding, and I'm done explaining, and I'm not going to excuse it anymore, and I'm not going to downplay myself anymore. I'm done diluting. Like, you're going to get the full concentrate now, and if you can't handle it, there's the door. Like, you just have this like zero tolerance for anything that is not honest, because you want to have this honesty with your child, because the love that you get from them is so pure and honest. Like, I wrote a poem in my book actually, and it's called The Purest Love, because I don't think there is anything else that you experience that even comes close to that, right? And yeah, it was just like, just get to this space of, no, I have to be accountable to myself, and I have to hold that line to be a better example for him, for her. you know it's pretty
You know,
amazing.
amazing that you just said that. I didn't know that you write poetry, but I was about to say, ask you because I've headed a poetry movement for 12 years in India, and I absolutely could see you're a poet. I like however you are going into, you're definitely a writer. I didn't know that when we had a conversation, and I'm so glad that you said that you're a poet because you are. And I've met many, many poets over 12 years by heading that movement and of all languages, and I could just see a poet talking right now. And that's why this is so
Oh,
special because that's why you understand what I'm doing. That the hard part is, especially when you're a poet, two, you're totally connected to your heart. You're going to be an awesome coach, Samantha. I can
thank you.
assure you because your heart is so full of love. And now that you've got this clarity, now that you've worked on yourself, now that you've reached here, you've come in with total understanding and honesty. And it's hats off to you that you reached that path because it takes a lot of effort and courage to reach where you've reached. So totally,
Yeah,
I celebrate you in this book for that you had the courage to come till here and to keep. And I now understand the whole thing about you talking about what you lose and what you gain and the loss that happens. And it's just beautiful. Um, so this whole journey of whatever, like you're a photographer as well, and you know,
well, i
uh,
i used to i used to do photography. I do it more for fun now, but
once you're a
my
poet, you're a poet
my
for life. You're a
yeah,
photographer, you're a photographer for
it's
life.
very true. I actually, my first job ever that I was hired for was in a photo lab, and I was hooked after that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Most of
and
my paycheck went to camera equipment.
happens to all of us again. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. Once you're a mom for the rest of your life. So some things just don't go away, and that's the beautiful part of the creative field. That whatever you pick up, it stays with you, even if you're actively not pursuing it. But did you also, when you were around camera, did you find this chatter that people had? this resistance that people had around cameras, in spite of the fact that it's a must to get pictures, must to get portraits, but there's so much happening before that one first click happens in people's heads, and there's so much instructions before that. Did you find that happening to you as well, or am I the only one who thinks? Though I dissolved, I must pack my bag. I was very did a beautiful job of dissolving it even before it started. Like I just could dissolve it like that, and that's why I can head this movement, because I had started recognizing very early in my age and my career, and I started dissolving it before it even came onto my table by some things that I did, which I'll talk about later. But did you find this chatter, which most photographers find all the time, and they think, oh my God, how do I not shoot what she's telling me not to shoot, or he's telling me not to shoot? Because you make so much focus on what not to shoot that that's the only thing you start seeing when you
Yeah.
start doing that. So have you found that happening when you were with
Oh yeah.
the camera?
Well, and you have to remember that the mind doesn't recognize negatives, right? It's like if you tell your kid, don't drop that, don't drop that, don't drop that, what are they going to do? They hear drop, don't, and it has no
Uh,
context, right? So it's a programming. It's just like if you say, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, what's going to happen? You're going to cry. And I find with photography it's the same thing. It's the don't shoot from this angle, don't shoot from that angle, and what are you going to do? You're going to shoot from those angles, because again, it's you're being told what to look for, just it doesn't recognize negatives. So um
and
I think,
you,
sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, no, you go ahead. Something came to my mind and I jumped in, but I thought you'd
Oh,
start.
that's
Go ahead.
okay. And I was just going to say, as a photographer, I think I love being behind the camera, and I've only now, just in a little while, like the picture I sent to you was from a new photo shoot that I did after doing so much healing, so much more healing, and it was finally like, I don't give a crap. And it wasn't like this I don't give a crap, it was just I don't care. I don't care if people see me shining, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
by me shining, it gives you that allowance to say, well, if she can do it, I can do it, right?
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
that validation of like, oh, I really can have it all. And that's what we were talking about earlier with this like voice and things that we've been told of, you can't do this. Well, no, only you can decide what you can or cannot do.
Yes. Yes. And what I was trying to say was the two things that just came to my mind while we were talking. One was that, we anticipate that something bad is only going to come. Like just a few days back, you said that the hospital, everybody was the kindest women you met. If they were the kindest women you met, most people don't think it's going to happen to them. They're not going to find kindness. They're not going to find appreciation. They're not going to find somebody loving them, right? And that's what stops us. Even before we take the step, this chatter comes up and says, it's not worth it. You're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Look at this one. This one definitely is going to come and tell you this, and this one is definitely going to say. And I don't know how I'll stand up to, this whole thing that comes up because we are already anticipating that is going to be something negative. And the beautiful part of showing up is, one, you suddenly start becoming beautiful for your own self, because you start seeing, oh my God, and the pictures that you send me are so gorgeous, because you don't recognize anything negative anymore in yourself. And only that amazing soul turns out, and all the gorgeousness just comes out in that picture. So, anyway, from a picture point of view, that's the only thing to be done to actually, let go. Once you let go of this chatter, once you decide to show up, nothing else will happen, but your confidence will shine. You would be wearing that confidence, and that confidence will only be gorgeous and beautiful. It's not possible to get bad pictures after that. It's
Yeah.
not because you don't care, but I also think that it's just the whole thing. Life comes back onto your face and it just starts shining. And even if you're sitting with bad so-called hair, suddenly you start loving yourself so much. Like, oh, I look nice. I look very good at that. And
Yeah.
you just said about the shining thing. I don't know why I keep reading this book, and I will read it to you because I want my moms who talk about that to hear this. And I read it in the morning to a mom, and I am going to read this paragraph again and again and again, because this is the pulse of my whole project. And
Yeah.
it says, Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child
Mhm.
of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And that's what I feel is going to happen to this book, is that the fear of shining will drop and so many are going to be liberated because these 100 shining moms have decided, I don't care, I'm going to shine no matter what anybody thinks and no matter even what I think about myself. You have to just go beyond that as well. So
Yeah.
it's I to getting to know you more, Samantha, it's absolutely gorgeous, during this interview. And that's why I like my spontaneous interviews, because I know more and more and more about moms. Another thing and I took your permission to talk about it, is that um, when I had the first interview with you, you said about miscarriages. You said, you know what, Shika, like every third or the fourth mother probably has gone through it, or every second mom, or every third. It's so common, and yet nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to acknowledge what happens to a mom when there's a miscarriage. And I think it's high time that this book also talks about it and not hide this whole emotion behind, because it's a life that goes coming in and then just goes out of you. And what happens to these moms? Would you like to talk about that, because we
Yeah.
decided to talk about it?
Yeah, of course. I think for me, where mine came from is I think a lot of the pain for myself, and I will only speak from my own personal experience. So I don't want to think anyone's thinking I'm speaking for all women. That is so not where I'm coming from. My personal experience with it was I was grieving not just the loss of that spirit, I was grieving the life I was envisioning with that spirit. So it was kind of like this thing that was just so unfulfilled. And for me, I've been on this journey of being a reformed perfectionist. And how hard is it for that perfectionist in me to not tick that box, to not tick those things of, oh, look at that, we did this as a family of four, we did this as, our family's complete. Well, why can't my family be complete with the miracle that I already brought into this world? And so I found like we were on this journey of chasing something that we wanted versus experiencing something that we already had. And for my wife and I, we both had this moment where we ended up doing the procedure twice and having no success with that. And we finally sat back and I just said, I can't. The emotional cost is way too high. But I was looking at it from the lens of this is happening to me and I'm losing so much. And then it was like I had this moment. I think it only came through probably a year after we decided that we weren't going to try again to have another. And I was looking at Naya and looking at Joe, and they were playing together. And it just like was this light bulb that went off inside of, look at the beauty that you already have. And it's not to say that it was wrong to want more. It was just to say you already have so much abundance and this beautiful life that you're squandering right now because you're trying to chase something that you think that you're supposed to have, that tick
Right.
of the box. And as soon as I let that go, it just gave me this beautiful freedom to just fully embrace myself in the family that I had already created, which was so beautiful. And I remember doing this pregnancy course actually, because I'm a I'm a massage therapist transitioning into coach. And I was doing this continuing education course with a woman, and we got on the subject of miscarriage. And there was 12 to 14 of us in the room. And when the subject of miscarriage came up, all but two put up their hand that they had experienced a miscarriage. And I mean, that was so enlightening for me to say how much prevalence it has and how it is zero discussion around it. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, to just start this discussion. And there was the lady that was holding the course. She has such a beautiful energy, and she's just amazing. And she put it as, think of it as, maybe that was the soul's journey, was just for that moment, right? I have this belief that we choose the life, we choose our parents, and maybe it was that soul's choice to just experience that moment of conception, and that was all they wanted to experience. And who am I to say that wasn't enough? And so it kind of really just shifted the whole context of taking it away from I did something wrong to, wow, I was a beautiful bringer of this soul. And I was still a mom in that moment, but I didn't have to be a mom in the way of them coming all the way through. And I think that was just this, it was this beautiful shift. And it shifted from I'm terrible to wow, I'm amazing.
Yeah, it's
Right. And
yeah. Even to take that journey, Samantha. I mean, to take that journey. Actually, I mean, if I was there, I would have given you a big hug right now too.
I feel the hug already.
I would have, I would have, because I'm a hugger anyway. But I would have given you a hug to appreciate the fact that you actually got from I'm horrible to I'm amazing, that I could hold this space for them, you know. And I mean, this kind of a pain goes in mums, and I think it takes lifetime for them, or sometimes they can't even sort it out because nobody speaks to them. And I think probably you're the chosen one to talk about it, because this is what they need to do to release this whole feeling that they are with, because some of them go through it multiple times, and and they just keep blaming themselves for it. And I think this is the first time in 40 years of my life I'm hearing that. uh, I mean, this is a great perspective, that that's what they were supposed to be. The lifespan was that much, and to see it like that you even had an opportunity to feel them inside of you and to give a part of you already through that life is enough, and you've done a lot already,
Yeah.
for that.
And I mean, it took me years to get there. That was not this like smooth
Yeah, I know.
road. It was not smooth by any means. And it
Yeah.
actually, I actually finally kind of worked through a lot of it when I wrote a poem about it, and I titled it Saying Goodbye to Someone I Had Never Met. And even just the title was just so powerful, because it's, and I think that's why when women give birth to stillborns, it's that same idea. It's like, give them that time to say goodbye, right? And I think with miscarriage, it's you're not just saying goodbye to this, you're saying goodbye to a possibility, but you're also saying goodbye to this dream, especially if that never comes through, like if you never end up having one, or um it just never fully comes through. It's you're saying goodbye to this whole life that you've envisioned, right?
Right.
And so you're also saying goodbye to control. which is the hardest thing for us to let go of. But I always rely on that saying of relax, nothing is under control, right? All I can control is how I'm going to react to something. And that is going to define whatever it is that I'm going through. So if I can always change that definition of how I'm going to hold something, I can choose a disempowering role or an empowering role, right? That's my value system that I use is I want to be empowering, whether it's through conversation, whether it's through holding space or just being present with somebody, right? I mean, it's another way of saying holding space, but I'm always going to choose empowerment. So when I feel like there's a decision coming up, I sit there and I ask myself, well, where's the disempowering decision and where's the empowering choice, right? And I think that's where we come to. And you know, you were talking about it earlier before we went live, I think, of how much fear there is right now. And there's so much fear around miscarriage as well. Well, what is fear? Fear is the absence of love. And it's an absence of love for yourself, right? And so when I started just being okay with who I am and embracing that full piece and loving myself a little bit more every day. And it didn't start with love, it started with like, because I couldn't even like myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're looking to others to love and like you're looking to them to fill your cup. Well, then it becomes this exchange of emotion. Well, that's not how it works. Love isn't transactionary, right? And so it comes to you, right? And if you talk to anyone that has made this transformation, it always starts with, I had to start loving myself. I had to start making myself a priority, right? And that's where empowerment comes from. Empowerment comes from, I'm going to stand in this space and I'm going to take care of me. And I know that everything else is going to be taken care of. And that's that surrendering of control. And that's why it's so powerful.
This is beautiful. And you know, when you just said that it starts from first liking you, I think it also, even to recognize the fact that you don't like yourself is even before that. Because
Yeah.
that, like,
Well, you
we
have to
keep,
wake up to it.
yeah, like, just we
Yeah.
keep blaming our children, our situation, our environment, our childhood, our present relationships for all the things that are going wrong. But I think to even recognize that, one, I don't like myself, and that's why this camera is so powerful. Because when you say don't take my picture, or you say should I put my picture, and you just scan the whole picture, I think that very moment you need to recognize, to say I don't like myself. What I'm seeing is, I don't, because what I'm seeing there, I just don't like that about myself. You know, even to acknowledge that, even to say that, I mean, it takes a lot of courage to even reach there. Love comes much later, of course, but even to
Oh,
say that, am I a problem really, or is my situation the problem? Is me the
yeah.
problem really, and is it in my hands? And then you just said that all in your hands is like to let go of the control, and the fact that your reaction is in your hand is all you can, you know, not control, but that's yours. Like, you know, how do you react to the whole situation, and find out and have the ability to take the journey. And that's what the beautiful part of what you just said is, that even coming till there, like, one of the moms said that uh, the self-love journey is also about putting yourself somewhere there on the list, right?
Yeah.
And somebody said, no, we should put right on the top. I said, even if you could put yourself somewhere there when you have kids, and say, tick mark, this is done for the child, tick mark, this is done for the spouse, tick mark, this is done for the house, tick mark, this is done. And then you say one more tick mark saying, I did this for myself. Like that tick mark, till the time it reaches, there are 10 more tick marks that you have to do, and you say, okay, my tick mark can happen tomorrow, because let me just finish this tick mark first. So I think if we as mothers can put ourselves somewhere there as well, to say that, no, I need to tick this mark right now before I start the next list, right? By the time we
Yeah.
are reaching to ourselves, we just like, and then the this whole self-love just goes out. And that's why even the like doesn't happen, and that's why there's so much pain. This mother pulse that I'm realizing is painful, because that's how it's been happening for ages. And I think this book can start touching various aspects of it. And you've just put it very beautifully, what
Yeah.
you have, Samantha. You're just
Yeah.
You're just a beautiful soul, and I think I can absolutely see that the journey that is it's taken, the courage, the pulling yourself back up every time has taken a lot of effort and a lot of emotional muscle to do. And I absolutely celebrate you for that. You're absolutely amazing and an inspiration. And definitely, very happy to have you in this book for that. And I'm sure a lot of mothers in this book will also learn a lot of stuff from you. Would you like to talk about something before we go on to talking about your dream, Samantha?
Yeah, actually, and I was gonna say what helped me and this is my favorite quote, and I would love if anyone would kind of reflect on it for a minute. And it's the best quote that I use, and I almost use this like a prayer now as to get me through my challenging times. And it's a technique I use in switching the lens, like I was talking about, right? Like shifting things. And it's a quote by Albert Einstein, and it's the greatest question we can consistently ask ourselves throughout our life is, do we live in a friendly or hostile universe? And so when you really reflect on that, so if you believe that you live in a hostile universe, it's going to be easier to throw stones at yourself. And I think we do this as moms, is we throw stones at ourselves, because then if others throw stones at us, it's like, well, it doesn't matter because I threw the first one. You know, you can't hurt me. I hurt myself first. And we kind of get in this like headspace with it, right? And
Right.
but if you shift the lens to say, I live in a friendly universe, you are going to find more kindness. You are
Yes.
going to find more people that are just like, wow, you're amazing. And you're just like, where's this coming from? It's coming from the fact that you say and stated that you live in a friendly universe, right? And you are surrounded by love. And I know for myself, the last week was really tough for me. Not last week, the week before now. And I had to tell myself as a prayer every day, I think 100 or more times in the day, I live in a friendly universe. I live in a friendly universe. Like I felt like Dorothy from Oz. There's no place like home. You know, that's what I was doing. It was just like, I live in a friendly universe. Everything is happening for me. And then that's when you can easily let go and surrender, because
Right.
it doesn't matter, right? You
Right.
live in a friendly space. And I think that is such a powerful tool and resource. And I know for me, it has helped me through so many uh challenging times, because it transforms those challenging times to be like, yeah, I got this. Like, this is friendly, this is happening for me, right? It's making
Right.
me stronger so that I can show up to that
Right.
next piece so much better, so much stronger, and to be able to give so much more, right?
Right, right. And Cynthia is here. I think she really needed to hear this. She just had a car accident last week, and uh, Cynthia, I hope you're feeling better. She's here, always cheering us up. She's written some beautiful comments, and Francis is cheering us up here as well. Um, and when you said that there's something that you call as a prayer, there's something as a prayer it's a quote that's become my prayer. I don't know whether you know of Sadhguru, if you've heard of him or not. He's
A
pretty
little bit,
famous
yeah.
now. Yeah. So he had written a beautiful poem. He's a poet. He's a poet as well, and um, it these two lines is what brought me back to uh, aligning me with what I'm meant to actually do. And it says, "I saw a flower. I thought it was giving. When I went closer, it was just living."
Mm-hmm.
I saw a flower, I thought it was giving. When I went closer, it was just living. The flower does not bloom for you. The flower is not giving you anything. You think you're getting it from the flower, but the
Yeah.
flower is not doing it for you. The flower is just fulfilling its own purpose, and that's why it's shining. It's
Yeah.
it's it's going to wilt because of itself, and it's going to shine because of itself. It is not
Yeah.
going to be dependent, or it's not even doing it to do something to you. It doesn't even know that you're
Yeah.
around it and saying, what a beautiful flower, and you're getting a smile. But when you fulfill your journey completely, the shine that will happen will automatically be with everybody around you. She can come in if she's up, it's okay. This is all about mother's interview, and if
Yeah,
she's up, so don't worry about it.
she's she's up. I was just asking her to let the cats in.
So, so that's why I think that aligned me a lot, because if I keep fulfilling my living, what I'm meant to live, like I'm meant to live, right? And I just do what I was meant to do, like that flower. My children will get, people around me will get, everybody will get whatever they get from me. I don't know. I don't have to even think of what they're getting from me, but they
Yeah,
will get. And that's why this project, I got up and I said, I'm meant to do this. I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know what it gets to anybody. And just like 2 days back, I was getting all worked up. I was sitting with my husband and I'm just telling him, you know what? I need to align this. How will I deliver these books across the world? I don't even know the supply chain yet. I don't even know this. And if these mothers don't get this in their hands, it will be on time. And I was just going on and on and on. And he just like, what happened to you? I was like, he like, why are you thinking about all these things? You had started by just creating it, just keep concentrating. And he's not a philosophical guy. I mean, he's a
yeah,
finance guy, totally married to a woman who just talks some stuff. And when I heard it from him, I'm like, thanks for that reminder. And then I
yeah,
came in and I just wrote these lines saying that focus on the creation and not what it creates. So I brought my
yes,
focus back on what the creation is. So again, I brought my focus back to this creation of this book. I don't know what it will create. Like that flower, I will just let this book do what it's meant to do and let people get what they get. I don't even want to define that. I don't even want to anymore say that, oh, this mother will be uplifted, or how many mothers will be uplifted, how many things will happen. My focus has totally come to what it's meant to do and the creation of it. And I think we focus on that. The minute we do that, it will happen, because like it can't be concealed, right? You can't conceal a shine.
yeah,
So I think that's the part we started with, that the how part. I think, how will it happen? How will we raise our children well? How will they become disciplined? How will we just get stuck into it and we just keep getting more frustrated. If we just
uh,
focus on, we are meant to do with our heart, and she's here, and I think it'll
yeah,
all fall. So beautiful that you actually shared that
yeah.
for Cynthia, saying this is so powerful, and yeah,
How
she is. She's gone through an accident, with the car accident, and she's still recovering from it.
yeah.
So a lot of love for you,
Well,
Cynthia, and yes, go ahead. So
yeah.
Samantha.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when you shared the poem, I heard something a little different, and the message is the same. And um it's, if you so when people get caught up on purpose, like, what is my purpose, why am I here, and then they just get caught on this treadmill of trying to figure things out. And the best story I've heard for it is, if you were to ask a honeybee what its purpose is, right, it would say, I don't know, I'm a bee, make honey, right?
Yeah,
But we know what the bee does, right? Without bees, we wouldn't have anything. Life would cease to exist, right? That's how important they are. So they're a huge part of the ecosystem, and there's all these big picture things that we have that perspective, right? But a honeybee is just, I'm here to make honey. So
nice.
if the honeybee went on this search of like, well, what is my purpose, and went to a mountaintop and then just meditated, well, would it be living its purpose? No.
And
So
they're unbelievable that you're saying these things, because whatever you're saying from a poetry, everything is so aligned with me. You know that I'm very emotional about bees. I'm very, very emotional about bees. Anything. I think that's my, if you ask me what is the most favorite creature in this whole world, I say bees. And when I see people just breaking down their, like, so I'm a vegan, and specifically also because of the honeybees, I do not like to consume honey, because I just love watching them, like that spirited horse, how they create this, how much hard work they're doing. And yes, I am absolutely, I know that what the importance of a bee is, and I've taught this to my son as well. And you know, uh, this whole thing that you talked about purpose, I think we should just need to align ourselves to that.
yeah,
And
we
no matter,
just have to show up.
yeah, and it could be this book, it could be showing up as a mom, it could be just showing up as anybody. If we just align ourselves, then let's do the work. If the work is done, everything will fall in place. Right? just focus on what you're meant to do and
Yeah.
forget about when, how much. And I think it's very crazy that all the time you're chasing with all the hows and how will it happen, nothing happens. And the
Yes.
minute you drop that and you just align yourself with saying, forget it, I'm tired of chasing, doesn't happen, doesn't happen. And that's how I like, forget it. I'm done with this online learning. I'm done with trying to create a course. I'm done with trying to chase all these formulas of doing social media and pivoting myself as a photographer. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just going and making a book. And then
Yeah.
suddenly, so much has got aligned, so much love has got showered, so much learning has already happened in the last 37 interviews that I never even anticipated. And I don't even know what's going to happen by the time the 100th mom is done and this book is out. And it's actually in people's this thing. And it's amazing that every time I'm saying this problem and I let go of it, I let it'll all come in place. And suddenly somebody is associated with this, reaches out to me
Yep.
automatically. It's just happening.
Yep.
So it's easy to say, forget about the how, but I'm telling you, when the minute you leave that, everything actually falls in place. And it was so easy. And
Yeah. And
you're
ease isn't to speak to that it's like there's still a complexity to it, right? But it's you're not focused on how that complexity is coming together. You just, again, like we were talking in the beginning, right? You focus on the feeling that you're wanting to create. And I've heard this saying of what you want wants you just as much.
right.
But it's because we put all these obstacles in the way and then it will never come through. So if we continue to focus on just the feeling and let go of how, right? Because how is how we mess things up. Right? That's not our job. That's
That's
universe's
difficult,
job.
I'm telling you. I keep like, from somebody like me who's making these big claims, I'm like, I wish I would have said 200 days and not 100 days. I don't know why I said 100 days. And I'm like, forget it, come back. So it's a
Yes.
lot of, because now, I just said, are you sure? Like, I'm trying to come out of this so-called super cool feeling that I always get when I do interviews. And I sometimes like slip out by mistake. And I'm like, are you crazy? It's a big job to be done. How will you do it? Will it really
Yeah.
happen? And then my pillars and everybody see this panic messages. I think the book is not coming out. I think it's not happening. And then I'm like, forget it, come back. And then I bring myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a big task. And when you start the journey also, I'm on this journey. Like, it's just a journey unfolding for me as much as it's unfolding for everybody. I don't
Yeah.
know what the answers are. I don't know how much and what is stored in future. It's just unfolding for me as much as it is for all the mothers and all the audience that is watching it, because I'm not coming from somebody who's done 100 books. I've met a lot of moms. I've done my journeys. I've done my healing. I've done my work. Yes, all that has been done, but I've never done this. But I'm having the courage to come up every day and just do the work and shut this camera and then, like, who's my next mom? And then I have, like, going through my instincts. I'm like, okay, this is the next mom. Let me go talk to her. So I think it takes a lot of work, and I'm absolutely proud of the fact that you've done a lot of work because of how I see you today. Even if it keeps slipping us back, if we can bring ourselves back to knowing all the stuff that we spoke about today, Samantha, it's going to make this world a better place and an easier place to live in rather than
Yeah.
you know with this chatter and everything. So let's talk about your dream. What's your dream, if I ask you? Because this book is called 100 Self Portraits, 100 Dreams. What's your dream?
Oh, it's so big. And I don't have a deadline or like a goal. It's, again, I focus on the feeling of what I want to create. And for me, my dream is for more and more to have a cascading effect of I live in a friendly universe. And for me, it's a lot about tapping into that resiliency, realizing that everything that comes to you in life is happening for you.
Yeah.
This is what you've chosen to have. And this is, and those things that come along is that guidance to remember, right? So when we're drifting off course from why we wanted to be here, those are those feedbacks to go, yeah, like you forgot, hey, here's the tap on the shoulder, here's the hit up the side of the head, here's the skillet. You know, like it's all geared towards us to remember why we
Yeah.
came here. And I firmly believe that we have medicine inside of us that is there to give. And when you give that medicine, then it inspires other people to remember their gifts, their medicine that they came here with, to then give. And then it creates this beautiful cascadance of positivity, of gratitude, of abundancy, and that remembrance that we are incredible warrior goddesses. Like, we hold a portal that brings life into this world. Like, how much more amazing do you want to be? You
Okay,
know?
I like that. We should end this interview by saying that how much more amazing you want to be. I will end it with this line for sure.
Yeah.
But two, three things again, and why you're speaking straight to my heart. Absolutely today is one. I live in a place called. I've just moved to the city, and my place is called Cascade. And when you kept on using this word cascading, I'm like, how much alignment is she going to have with what's happening around me? Right? And I never thought of that word. Like I'm staying in my place, which is this mine villas are called Cascade, right? And you kept on using. I'm like, I never thought about the word cascade. Now I'm going to think about it because she's talking about it. And the
Yeah.
fact that you said that the medicine is within us, I anyway feel that health wise, but I also feel like you said the word medicine, I use the word teacher because I think there's a teacher placed within us for all the answers, and we do not need to, keep relying on the fact that somebody else from outside. Once the work is done, once we've done the inner healing, we actually place a teacher, and if we just keep following that, we will find more clues, we will find more things that will align us with what we are meant to do. And that itself, reaching, is an amazing work done, that teacher that can speak to you and that can guide you, which is sitting within. And you just use the word medicine, and I absolutely believe that teacher is sitting right here. We just have to follow that instinct of ours, and it
Yeah.
will happen. Your dream will come true. And I'm already
Yeah.
saying this. Like I meet a lot of mothers and I say this, but Samantha, you're going a long, long way. Like look at the chats here, and what they're saying. You're really going a long way, and I'm
Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely happy that we met. And it's a crazy thing that all these things were placed. Like we met briefly for 2 minutes. I
Yeah,
think
we were in a breakout room for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, like we hardly spoke individually for 2 3 minutes, four
Yeah.
minutes, where
Yeah.
we were talking about some language, course,
Yeah.
and I think we didn't even speak about it today. I don't know what we spoke about today. It's totally different from the language course that you were talking about that you wanted to do, and I was talking about a iPhone photography or a self-portrait work. I don't. We both
Yeah.
are absolutely at two different spaces in this journey of knowing each other in 4 5 months that we've taken, and everything just happens. I think it's only when you start seeing back, I'm like, this was placed, this was placed, this was all placed, and then one fine day I see you actually painting a ladder, and my mind said, okay, Samantha is the one I need to reach
Yeah.
out to for this project, and here we are with a beautiful story. You will definitely encourage so many more mothers to show up, and welcome to this book, Samantha. It's a total
Thank you.
pleasure to
It's
have
it's
you here.
amazing to be a part of it. Yeah.
And
The
thank you
the
so
other
much.
piece that I'm the other piece that I'm working on that's part of my dream as well is I'm putting together this role of cultural ambassador,
Yes.
and that's to help be the bridge between indigenous and non-indigenous. So it's bringing forth that compassion, that love, and to again to dispel the fear, because again, what is fear? It's the absence of love. And so it's really bringing that forward so that each side can move forward to healing, empowering conversations versus this mudslinging and fear that can occur. And so I'm actually starting the project at the massage school where I work, and then I'm hoping it's just going to again cascade and build out from there. And it's just about bringing forth empowering conversations. And the question that I use with it is, how do we shift from fear to curiosity? Because curiosity is actually the opposite of fear, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And even for myself, when I feel like nervous in that, I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? I wonder why I'm experiencing that. And I turn it into curiosity immediately. And it's amazing how it just like shifts things. Tidbits. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Mine just came 2 times, and I just like, go away, go away, go away. We're not done. Like they came 2 times. Hi, good morning.
This is
And
Naya.
this is
You
so
wave?
beautiful. Yes, I had another mom who was through and through and through with little hands going all across her face while she was doing the interview. And I was just like, it's okay. And I love her because she's okay with those hands coming up, and I was
Yeah.
okay with those hands all around her. And then there was a beautiful moment there, Samantha. And that's the time I actually got the pulse of my project. And she was my second mom. And then she's
Yeah.
like, I need to go pee. And she's like, hold on. And she just takes her laptop. She's like, yeah, I'm coming with you. And she had a 3-year-old. And she goes to
Yeah.
the loo and she places the laptop while she's giving the interview. I don't know how she managed to do so much focus. I was like, and I was trying, I keep telling you, I try to be very straight faced. And I was like, so cute. I wanted to just say that. But she did that while all the sounds are coming from behind. And I'm just like, Tamsin, only you could do this. You could
Yeah.
focus and say what you're saying to inspire, but at the same time showing what you need to do,
Yeah.
And we welcome her as well into this interview. And
Warrior goddesses.
oh
Never
yes,
forget that.
oh
Yeah.
yes, oh yes. Thank you so much for giving such a beautiful interview. It was a beautiful interview, and you spoke right with alignment of what this is. If now I've reached here, I don't know what all I have to reach. I'm only on the 37th mom. I don't know. Every interview is just making it better and better and better and more aligned. So,
Yeah.
absolutely grateful for that, for everything, and thank you and welcome to this book. I am going to hold you to my pillars now. One of them will be your pillars, who's going to help you reach out to your finish line. And I'm actually just going to take their names because I promised them that I'm so grateful that they're giving this effort. It's Debbie, it's Francis, it's Kirtana, Kavita, and I keep missing, and Melanie. Melanie is another yeah, super person, and all of
Yeah.
them have been helping us trying to get the moms to reach the finish line with their stories and their pictures. And thank you to them. And very soon you're going to be handed over to one of them, and you'll get to meet your group, which would be amazing to meet as well. Thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to your page in the book to
Yeah.
inspire so. I'm totally emotional, so I shall go off the Facebook and you stick around. Thank you, everyone. Francis, Vilma, I love from fear to curiosity. Even I love that, Vilma. That was a good one. She doesn't know that she's a great poet yet. She has to write many more books. So let's go off.
You can, oh.
No, I didn't go off.
Oh,
You can
I
say.
was gonna say, if you want to check out the poetry book that I did, it's actually available on Amazon and it's called Heart Stories, A Journey of Self.
I'm going to put the link because
Yeah.
most of the moms have put the links there. So if you give me the link, I will put it in the interview and
Yeah.
moms can buy it. And anyway, the book will have a directory of where and what these moms are doing and where you can buy them. So we will put it there as
Yeah.
well. I will definitely order it. So put the link. I'm quite inquisitive.
Yeah.
Bye bye. I will be glad to be a pillar for Sam and with Sam. See, now pillars are going to fight for me. Pillar Sam. Francis, done. She's we'll hand over time to you because you came up. She's already like gone on the chat saying, "Don't pass it on to somebody else," and I'm going to be getting spam way. So that's happened for the first time to me. Right.
Yeah.
Usually, I keep dividing according to the time zones. Indian moms to Indian pillars,
Yeah.
so that it's easy to talk. But Frances has decided that she's going to be.
Well, my grandma's name is Francis, so that just
Are
fits.
you going to kill me today? Are you going to kill me, Samantha, today with all these things that you've been saying? And we need to go off because we want to just keep saying these crazy things. And before the interview, you were saying some things that I was already scaring me, and now you're coming up with these things. Frances, did you hear that? See, she's saying, see, I already knew it. So, Frances, here is Samantha. For the first time publicly, I'm handing over one mom to a pillar, and this is funny. Great, see you guys. Love you. and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.